guys, and welcome to this week's edition of the Coffee and Hero Show, recording on the 8th of March. So recording for New Comic Book Day today. So as you can see, I'm surrounded by goodies. Lots of stuff come in this week, both in terms of single issues, both in terms of graphic novels, omnibuses, collected editions, all sorts. So there's loads to get through. Before I get through, usual sort of store update, what I'm working on, that kind of thing. I've been working on back issues this week. I've been looking at updating the DC variant section. We've got a good sort of 7 or 8 boxes of variants upstairs for DC, so I'm going through them one at a time. Overflow's going on the website, but we're making sure that every variant that we have in store is labeled, priced, brand new bag on board, and retaped, because again, I'm a stickler for this kind of stuff. And then filtered into the DC section. So the variants are underneath the DC section. You'll see the plastic boxes underneath. So all of the variants will be under there. There's not really any on top just because simply we don't have the room for it. So they're down in the bottom. What else have I been working on? We've been working on upgrading the website a little bit. So we're going to be adding CGCs to the website. You'll see the tabs have been created already. I'm hoping to add some stock to that today and tomorrow. So with all CGCs on the website, all delivery is going to be free, or you can pick it up in store, which of course is also free. I've been starting to put a few, I've been playing around with this for a while. I've spoken to you guys about it before, but I've been looking at maybe taking some of the statues out of boxes and displaying them. So we've got a statue in the cabinet right now, which is a Trinity statue based on the Jason Fabok artwork. And it's a statue that is gorgeous, but if I just left it in the box, all you would see is the box. And I think if you're going to be spending that kind of money on these uber detailed statues and figurines and stuff like that, I think you deserve to see more than a picture in a box. So I'm playing around with that. I might end up taking quite a few of them out and putting them into showing them off in the display cases. So keep an eye out for that one as well. But yeah, other than that, can't complain. Nice and busy. You have the odd quieter day here and there, but that tends to balance out with the busy Saturdays, the busy Wednesdays. So as always, thanks to every single one of you that walks through the doors and keeps the place going. So yeah, that's that side of things, but I'll focus on the new release stuff this week, all the stuff that's new in the store. Again, graphic novel wise, I've done a top up of some stuff that I needed. There's a ton of new stuff as well. And again, I'm trying to fill gaps in the graphic novels. I'm trying to always make sure that there's sort of like 1 to 5 there, or 1 to 10 or whatever. Lots of number ones especially. Before I jump into that, I'll go into the box here and we'll go through what variants are in this week. And there's quite a lot, for the very simple reason that, I'm determined to get all of the Alex Ross variants in. There are some guys who are collecting everything. There's some guys who are picking and choosing based on character, based on title, which is absolutely fair. So I wanted to make sure that we get as many of them in as possible. So let's have a look here. So, I also think that, 9 times out of 10 our variants are dominated by DC because I always pick the ones that look cool. But Marvel are making a comeback these days with these timeless variants. So first up, we've got a new series out this week from Scott Snyder and Francis Manapul called Clear. Now, this is just the traditional cover A, but the difference is you can see the metallic imprint there, the foil imprint for the logo. So they're going to be doing these for all of the series, which I believe is going to be 3 issues. But yeah, this was a Comixology original by Snyder and Manapul, but now is hitting print for the first time. With that in mind, we have a couple of variants from it as well. This is the 1 to 10 retailer incentive variant, which is by Christian Ward, which is pretty glorious there as well. And then we also got in what's called the FOC cutoff one. So they'll always add a variant at the final order cutoff, and it's usually 1 per store, which this one is as well. So, and this is Cliff Chiang on this as well. And again, that is Clear number 1. I continue to think this is the stupidest thing in variants. Not necessarily the variants themselves. I understand the Disney homages. I just don't understand why there's an homage to Incredible Hulk number 1 on Amazing Spider-Man number 21. If it was on the front of Hulk, it would make perfect sense. But yeah, all these variants are a bit strange to me because they keep doing these homage ones, and 9 times out of 10, what they're homaging is not related to the actual title. Yeah, we jump into the Alex Ross Timeless ones. As I said, there's quite a few this week. So you've got Fantastic Four number 5. So again, just in case you're not sure, the Alex Ross Timeless ones, they did a rake of them before, around 40, and they focused on heroes. This time they're focusing on villains. So that's why you're starting to get the likes of the Skrulls and Voltron and stuff like that. So Voltron? Ultron. Yeah, right. But anyway, as I say, Fantastic Four number 5 for Skrulls. We've got Avengers 66 for Ultron. We've got Mary Jane and Black Cat number 4. Snuck in the middle of this as well is a WandaVision variant cover done by David Nakayama. So this is for Scarlet Witch number 3. And again, is obviously referencing the TV show. You gotta love the... you know what I'm talking about. A few more Alex Ross Timeless ones. So again, the Scarlet Witch 3 Timeless variant. We have X-Men 20 Timeless variant. So yeah, they seem to be releasing anywhere between 4 and 5 of these a week. On to some DC stuff. Got Batman 133 this week. Before that, we've got Joe Quesada continuing to do covers, which again continues to be quite historic. I mean, this is a dyed-in-the-wool Marvel guy. He was Marvel editor at one point. So it's kind of surreal to actually see him working on DC stuff. We've got the Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 6. So the usual Lee Bermeo horrific goodness there as the Joker. He stitches up his mouth. I wasn't sure if he was cutting the stitches or stitching it up, but I'm sure cutting it up will come later. There's a second printing variant from Nightwing 100, which is basically influenced by the Batman animated series with Batman on the rooftop. But instead of thunder, lightning, and darkness, this is Nightwing, so it's all bright and sunshine and hope and bright colours. So yeah, Bruno Redondo doing the second printing variant there. And then we finish off with a couple for Poison Ivy this week. You've got the frankly gorgeous Joshua Middleton cover, first of all, for Poison Ivy number 10. And then you also have for Poison Ivy number 10 a Jenny Frison variant. I collect all of Jenny Frison's work. I absolutely love her style. So yeah, that is the variant side of things in this week. What have we got in terms of new releases? So again, I'll just flick through it a little bit here, just to try and take the multiples out. But there's quite a lot of stuff out this week. Not so much indie stuff, I have to say. There's only a few bits and pieces out, but quite a big Marvel and DC week. I mean, indie-wise, I'd already mentioned there, Clear, Scott Snyder, Francis Manapul. I ordered quite big on this. It's a title that there's not loads of pre-orders for, but based on Night of the Ghoul and We Have Demons, which both were Comixology originals that came to print, Snyder's name still moves comics and the man knows how to tell a great story. So I made sure to order plenty in. So if it's not on your pull list, not a big deal. Just drop us a message, we'll get you sorted. We have new issue this week of Spawn, so we're up as high as 339 for the world's longest running indie comic. And then we also have a brand new series from Emma Kubert, daughter of Andy Kubert, I think. And this is called Strongheart, a brand new Image number 1 there as well. Move away from there and on to the Marvel side of things. So we've got some stuff this week that is new releases, but also some stuff that Diamond didn't send me last week. So I had to get it this week, but all in stock now. But yeah, quite a lot of Marvel stuff. You know, it's a lot of the good stuff as well. A lot of my favorite Marvel series are this week, as well as 1 or 2 little relaunches for titles and number 1s and so forth. So just finish here. Jeez, how many titles does Marvel have? So kicking things off with Marvel, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 21. So according to the cover, this is it, the story arc you've been waiting for. In other words, this is the payoff for what was set up as the mystery in number 1. You know, what did Peter Parker do that is so unforgivable? So it looks like we're kicking things off. Great to see John Romita Jr. is back on art for that. We have issue 2 of Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. So spin-off series from Blade. I think we've still got 1 or 2 number 1s on the racks as well. So if you want to jump into that, issue 2 is this week. One that was out last week, but we didn't get sent enough of our copies, was Cosmic Ghost Rider. So a brand new number 1 from Stephanie Phillips. Juan Cabal on art as well, who did great stuff with Tom Taylor and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And I've always enjoyed the Cosmic Ghost Rider stuff. It's always been good fun. And Stephanie Phillips is a name you can definitely trust. Now, a new issue of Fantastic Four, so issue 5. So continuing on with the Rand North penned Fantastic Four. Love the cover, the different sort of styles for the Alex Ross cover. You have Mary Jane and Black Cat out this week as well. So issue 4. Jen McKay continuing to write this spin-off from the Dark Web Spider-Man series. New Nightwing this week, or Nightwing. I can't talk this morning. New Moon Knight this week, although this is almost as good as Nightwing. So you're continuing on with Jen McKay, Alessandro Capuccio on art. Issue 21. It's great to see a good long-running series for Moon Knight that's doing so well. We've got a new Mutants miniseries called New Mutants Lethal Legion. New creative team, Charlie Jane Anders and Enid Ballum on art. Not someone I'm overly familiar with, I must admit, but new 5-issue X-related series. We have Nightcrawlers number 2 as well, so we're continuing on with the titles linked into Sins of Sinister with the X-Men stuff. So Cy Spurrier writing that one. I'd mentioned a brand new sort of starting point for a series. So for Predator, they've went back to number 1. I think they're going to do it in story arcs for Predator and for Alien, just make it really approachable for new readers. So Ed Brisson, though, is continuing to write, which is good to see, and a brand new number 1 there. Of Scarlet Witch number 3, of course, that showed you the variants, the Alex Ross Timeless, the WandaVision ones. That's your traditional cover A by Sarah Pichelli. Then we have Star Wars Bounty Hunters this week from Ethan Sachs. So we're up to issue 32 of the Star Wars miniseries. 32 in miniseries? Try maxi series. Star Wars The High Republic also this week, which is issue 6. So Kevin Scott continuing to write the High Republic stuff. We have X-23. This is a facsimile of the first appearance of X-23, done by Craig Kyle and Chris Yost. So again, your perfect reprints there, warts and all. And then we finish off with X-Men at number 20, continuing with the Jerry Dugan X-Men stuff. And as I say, we're up to issue 20 there. So that leaves us with DC. And again, a couple of big titles this week. Always a good week. We can get a new issue of Batman. Well, it is for me anyway. We've got a new Superman series kicking off. We've got the end of a creative team on a series. So yeah, plenty of good stuff here as well. So I'd mentioned the new Superman series kicking off. So Tom Taylor continuing with the Jonathan Kent stuff. Of course, it was Superman, Son of Kal-El. It's now Adventures of Superman, John Kent. This is going to be a 6-issue miniseries, I believe. Tom Taylor writing, Clayton Henry on art. Now, if you were on Superman, Son of Kal-El, I haven't put this in your box. It may be the same character, but it's a completely different series, so I don't like to assume. We do have copies on the racks though, so if you want to jump into it, we have the copies here for you. As I say, new issue of Batman this week, so we're up to issue 133. Chip Zdarsky continuing. Mike Hawthorne on art, continuing the Batman of Gotham storyline. We have Batman Joker Deadly Duo continuing this week. We're up to book 5 of this. This has been great. It's like a throwback to like Hush era Batman, with Mark Silvestri both writing and drawing. We have the latest issue of Flash, so Jeremy Adams and Roger Cruz, and we're up to part 5 of the 1 Minute War. Harley Quinn 27, so this is the end of Stephanie Phillips on Harley Quinn, and Harley will be getting a new creative team from 28, so that'll be a jumping on point for Harley with issue 28. We then have Joker the Man Who Stopped Laughing, where as far as issue 6, The Joker in Hollywood, there is a scary thought. And then we finish off with Poison Ivy. Again, I showed you a couple of variants. This is the cover A for the G. Willow Wilson penned Poison Ivy story. So those are all the new single issues going out this week onto the racks. We'll move from there and on to all the stuff that's new in this week, because as I say, there's a lot to get through. So apologies if I start to bore you after a while. First of all, we're continuing with the Mighty Marvel Masterwork stuff. So here comes Daredevil. This is the 2nd volume of Daredevil. This covers Daredevil 12 to 21. So going right back to the joyful start. This is volume 21 of a special limited printers collector's edition. So 21 volumes of this in total, whether it's across Avengers, Daredevil, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Captain America, etc., etc. Getting back in stock the hardcover American Gods adaptations. So we've got the first 2 volumes here. I think there's 3 volumes in total. I'll certainly get the 3rd one in. I think it's sold actually on Saturday. So yeah, Neil Gaiman obviously penned American Gods. Pete Craig Russell and Scott Hampton also kicking in on creative duties. But it also features artwork by Walter Simonson, Colleen Dorn and Glenn Fabry. So American Gods there, first 2 volumes. We've got the latest volume of Trials of X, so we're up to volume 6. So this one contains X-Corps, Marauders, X-Force and Excalibur. We have a new volume of Power Rangers in this week. We're up to Power Rangers volume 6. So Rand Parrott, Paul Allor, Marco Renna continued on this. And this collects Power Rangers 21 to 22 and the Power Rangers Unlimited massive oversized issue, The Death Ranger, number 1. Filling the gaps for Birthright. I spoke about this series before, loving it so much. Joshua Williamson and Andre Bressan. So just continuing to fill gaps in the Image series. We have a new volume of a mini-series this week, which is Gambit. This is by Chris Claremont. Sid Kotian on art, and this was a 5-issue miniseries, an all-new adventure of everyone's favorite thief. But the new volume of Batgirls in this week as well, so this is volume 2, and this collects Batgirls 7 to 12 of that series. A new epic collection of Amazing Spider-Man. This is really early Spidey stuff. This is volume 4, This covers stories released in the 60s, 1967 to 1968. And it covers Amazing Spider-Man 53 to 67, Spectacular Spider-Man 1 and 2, Marvel Superheroes 14, and material from Not Brand X 6 and 11. This whole pile here is all Bond, James Bond. They're celebrating 70 years of the first James Bond book being released, and for doing that, Dynamite have put all of the James Bond hardcovers back in print. So I made sure you order all of them. Why not? So tons of stuff here. So you've got James Bond 007, Greg Pak working on that one. You've got Andy Diggle on James Bond 007 Kill Chain. We've got James Bond Origin, which is a couple of volumes from Jeff Parker as well. We have James Bond The Body. This one is by... Weirdly enough, they don't actually credit the creators on this one. Oh, there we go. Aless Cott is the writer on that one. We've got James Bond 007 Case Files, which is Kieran Gillen and Jodie Hauser working on that. You have James Bond 007, another volume here, which is done by Greg Pak and looks like Stephen Mooney on art. We've got James Bond 007 Hammerhead, which is Andy Diggle, once again penning that one. We got Benjamin Percy writing James Bond 007 Black Box. Next up, a couple of adaptations of books you may recognize a bit more. So you've got Casino Royale, first of all, which has been adapted by Van Jensen and Dennis Calero. And then we also have Live and Let Die, which has been again adapted by Van Jensen, but with art by Kuber Bal. And then we have James Bond 007 Reflections of Death, which is written by Benjamin Percy, Greg Pak, Andy Diggle, Gail Simone, Mark Russell, and Vita Ayala. That's a lot. And then we have art in this by Dean Kotz, Jordi Perez, QB Bal, Owen Marin, Robert Carey, and Luca Castellanguida. And then we finish off with James Bond 007 Felix Leiter. So James Robinson writing on this one, and Aaron Campbell on art. So if you're a Bond fan, you're in heaven with all these things. Let's see what we've got next. So move on to the soft covers that we've got here. So again, I think this pile, a lot of it is gap fillers. So it's me trying to, have complete volumes and complete runs of stuff. So with that in mind, for example, we've got New 52 Batman Volume 6. This is Graveyard Shift, which covers issues 0, 18 to 20, 28 and 34, as well as the Batman Annual number 2. So this, of course, is during Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's iconic run. We have Dark Knight Returns on the shelf, so I wanted to make sure we got the other 2 volumes in. So we've got Dark Knight Strikes Again, the often lamented sequel. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And then Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, which I really enjoyed. Frank Miller, Brian Azzarello, and Andy Kubert on art. Filling in the gaps as well on the Tom King Batman series. So you've got I Am Suicide, Volume 2. You've got I Am Bane, which is Volume 3. And The War of Jokes and Riddles, which is Volume 4. So again, just plug in those gaps. So depending on where you are in your reading. New volume of Spawn, Vengeance, The Life and Death of Al Simmons. So this is covering Spawn 291 to 297, so just before that Magic 300 number. We've got Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog. This is volume 1 of that. I've been a big fan of this series. If you enjoyed Philadelphia, this is part of the same universe. Whereas Philadelphia deals with vampires, this deals with demons. So I've been very vocal about how good this is in single issues anytime I've mentioned it, but trades out for you trade waiters. We got Shirtless Bearfighter back in stock, a frankly ridiculous but so much fun mini-series, which is from Jody Lehip and Sebastian Gurner, and it does exactly what it says in the tin. Public Domain is graphic novel as well, volume 1, so Chip Zdarsky continuing on with his the little guy in comics battling against the big 2. Got a couple of Spawn compendiums back in stock, so again we have all of them in stock. So we've got volume 1 over there, volume 2 back in stock. They cover 50 issues at a time. We got volume 3 over there, and then we get volume 4 back in stock as well. So again, if you want to jump into Spawn, those compendiums are definitely the best value way to do it. We got new hardcover in this week for Batman Superman World's Finest, The Devil Nezha. So this covers the first 5 issues of the frankly fantastic Mark Waid and Dan Mora run, encased in glorious hardcover. We have Gotham by Midnight. This is a dark side of Gotham, as if there's a light side of Gotham. But this is to do with sort of the supernatural elements in Gotham. And we've had volume 2 in the shelves for I don't know how long, so finally got volume 1 in stock. Ray Fox writes this, and Ben Templesmith on art. This was during the New 52 era. We got a nice collection in for Kang the Conqueror. So if you've recently seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, or Ant-Man Quantumania, and you want to get into some Kang stuff, this is the Saga of the Once and Future Conqueror. This contains loads of stuff. So basically, Kang's biggest stories from the likes of Fantastic Four number 19, Avengers number 8, all new, all different Avengers, you know, etc., etc., etc. So tons of great stuff in there, and again, a nice thick volume for that. But we finish off today on the hardcover side of things, and there are some frankly ridiculously great ones in this week. So again, talking about filling gaps, I'm continuing to get the ultimate collections of Invincible in. 2 to 5 are on the shelf. Number 1 is now going to be back on the shelf as well. We have Doom Patrol by Gerard Way and Nick Darrington. This actually came out last week but sold out really quickly, so I just got it reordered straight back in. So this covers all of the Doom Patrol stuff, so the 12 issues of the landmark Doom Patrol series, as well as the 7-issue follow-up Doom Patrol Weight of the Worlds. Loads of special features as well, behind-the-scenes art, commentary, and more. We have Spider-Verse Spider-Geddon Omnibus in this week, so a big chunky bad boy. This covers pretty much anything you can think of when it comes to Spider-Verse and Spider-Geddon. Massive big volume there. Also this week in omnibus form is Spider-Man versus Venom. So this collects together some of their best stories. So for example, you've got, you know, Amazing Spider-Man 300, of course, first appearance. You've got Web of Spider-Man issues. You've got all sorts in here. You've got once Carnage comes into Spider-Man. So this covers a lot of stuff. Amazing Spider-Man issues, Web of Spider-Man, Avengers Death Trap, Darkhawk, Spider-Man the Trial of Venom, etc., etc. So again, very definitive volume for that. And then the last two in terms of the big hardcovers, and the last two in this week are two of my favorites. First of all, we have back in print Silver Surfer by Dan Slott, Michael Allred, and Laura Allred. This is quite simply one of the best things Marvel have ever released. We had this volume in when it first came out in omnibus a few years ago, and it sold out like that, and then was out of print for years. Well, it's back in print, but don't expect it to be in print for long because it's frankly ridiculously good. It's pure joy. This is at a time, I've spoken about it before, when I was reading Marvel. It was Mark Waid Daredevil, it was Matt Fraction Hawkeye, it was G. Willow Wilson Miss Marvel, and it was Dan Slott on Silver Surfer. Cannot recommend this highly enough. This is in my top 5 comic runs of all time. Genuinely fantastic. And then we finish off with a lovely hardcover edition for Snow Angels, which was a cracking wee horror title from Jeff Lemire and Jock. It came out before in trade paperback. There were 2 volumes. But as you can see, if you compare trade paperback size to the hardcover, they've massively expanded that gorgeous Jock artwork and put together this beautiful hardcover edition. So that is the last one this week. So that is going to do it for us this week, because I have to now go and set everything up. So yeah, it's all new Comic Book Day stuff. March the 8th right here. As ever, anything appeals to you, drop us a message. We'll always get you sorted. I'm going to drop a previews one this week as well, which is going to be the top 5. I was going to do top 10, but I'm going to really narrow it down. Top 5 previews picks, and I'm going to do one of these every month as well. So keep an eye out for that, for the previews book, because the previews order is due on the 17th, I think. So, but anyway, as ever, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it keeps you informed with everything that is new out in the world of comics and everything new out in store. As always, I hope you're staying safe out there, and I look forward to seeing you in store. So take it easy.